Hill's dentist renegotiates his visitation rights, allowing the boy to spend more time and overnights with his dad. Attorney Tom Mesereau, Jackson's lawyer from 2005, believes the Chandlers had a hidden agenda.
That's the way it looked to us as we studied this particular chapter in Michael Jackson's life.
It seemed to me that they were looking for a lot from Michael, and when they didn't get it, suddenly there were allegations.
Yes, the father apparently did want to be a script writer. I think he did succeed in at least one or two projects. And they did want a lot of closeness with Michael Jackson. But then everybody who met Michael Jackson thought they were going to profit in some way. And that was one of the sad facts of his life, that he felt that virtually everybody who approached him wanted something. And I think it resulted in some lack of trust and some isolation and some loneliness.
As part of his new visitation arrangement, Jordy is permitted to spend nights at his father's home. Evan Chandler invites Jackson to sleep over with his son and allows the two to share the same bedroom. Late one night, the father checks in on the two and finds Jackson cuddled with his son in what he considers a compromising position. Chandler expresses concern that Jackson may be molesting his son. During what Chandler, a dentist, describes as a routine tooth extraction on his son, Chandler gives Jordy the sedative Amatil Sodium. According to Chandler, the sedative prompts Jordy to confess that Michael Jackson molested him. Evan Chandler is the only witness hearing Jordy's allegations, yet he threatens to report the incident to authorities and prosecute Jackson. Once news breaks about a pending child molestation lawsuit against pop icon Michael Jackson, Santa Barbara District Attorney Tom Sneddon opens a criminal investigation. In December 1993, Jackson is served with a warrant for a strip search. Investigators hope to verify the boy's description of Jackson's genitals and details of patches of vitiligo, a skin disease in which Jackson was diagnosed in the 1980s.
One of the biggest questions in the world of Michael Jackson is whether or not he really had vitiligo.
I had met Michael's makeup artist, Karen Faye, and I asked her, I said, does Michael really have vitiligo? And she said, yeah. And he even tried to hide it from her for a while because it was something that he was very ashamed of. When you have, you know, blotches of white when you're black, you know, and in your whole world is image, not only music and performance, but you got to look a certain part. It had to be really, really difficult for him.
Reluctantly and under legal pressure, Jackson agrees to cooperate and be examined by sheriff's deputies. Jackson is humiliated by the series of events. His business advisors determine he is far better off settling with the family rather than being dragged through an indefinite period of further humiliation and a possible criminal trial. Jackson pays the family a reported $20 million. Tom Mesereau considers the payoff may have been prompted by associates who stood to lose far more money if Jackson's upcoming performances are delayed.
It's interesting because that settlement money, which is in around the ballpark of $20 million, is something that never leaves people's minds. It seems as though that will always continue to be a controversial aspect in the legacy of Michael Jackson.
Well, remember, he was a billionaire. This person had money-making opportunities around the world that were endless. This was someone who could wake up in the morning, decide to go to any capital in the world, and make millions of dollars if he wanted to. So the amount of money he paid was nothing compared to what he was worth and what he could earn. And the people around him said, Michael, write the check, get rid of the case, let's move on. We have so many business opportunities everywhere, on every continent, and that's what he did. And it came back to haunt him, unfortunately. I think it was the wrong advice. I think he should have fought it and won.
In the years to come, Jackson's fans continue to support him. But Jackson, still concerned over the lingering fallout from his 1993 settlement, decides in 2002 to allow British documentary filmmaker Martin Bashir to set the record straight and redeem his public image. Bashir convinces Michael he should be trusted to make a film chronicling Jackson's life, to show the world that he is misunderstood, that he is a compassionate humanitarian who wants to heal the world. When the documentary airs, Bashir turns out to be yet another person in Jackson's life who capitalizes on the pop star's fame. Waiting in the wings as part of the documentary is another family called the Arvizos, who will have their own agenda regarding Michael Jackson. Previous world tours earned him and members of his inner circle hundreds of millions of dollars. $20 million for Michael Jackson is pocket change.
They say it's like a quarter. You know, you're going to make all this money. You didn't.
They said it's like a quarter?
Yeah, it's like a quarter to you. You know, it was 20 million's a quarter to you, whatever the settlement was. He listened. He got talked into it, and he settled. Because he didn't want to go through a trial. He wanted to go on tour. He wanted to promote his record.
Michael Jackson decided to make a settlement with the young boy in question.
I think it was a big mistake. Michael Jackson was advised by business consultants and people in his music business to pay whatever it took to get rid of it. The idea was that they had bigger fish to fry. He was the biggest artist in the world. He had a glowing future in front of him, and this was just hurting him with bad press. So their feeling was, pay whatever it takes to settle it, get rid of it, and move on. And I think it was a mistake because I think it just sent a message to others that, you know, why work if you can sue Michael Jackson?
In September 1996, 3 years after the settlement, Jackson begins the History Tour. Over 10 months, he performs 82 concerts on 5 continents, 35 countries, 58 cities, entertaining 4.5 million fans, selling out stadiums from Germany to South Africa. The History Tour is the most successful of Jackson's career. Wherever he goes, loyal fans follow. But so does the dark shadow of the child molestation settlement. Tabloids worldwide continue to capitalize on Jackson's unfortunate story.
Their job is to sell a newspaper and sell a magazine. They could care less if they hurt your feelings, because they know you're not going to sue them. They know you're not going to spend all that money and go to court. So they write it, they sell a bunch of magazines, they go on to the next victim. They'll find somebody else. And once in a while, if it's a slow news week, they'll bring it back again.
In 2002, Michael Jackson decides it's time to put the salacious rumors to rest. He begins filming with British documentarian Martin Bashir, who quickly earns Jackson's trust.
Mr. Bashir